My dream is to go to see Palestine.
This is the free walking tour. Honestly, this is the most beautiful church I have ever entered in all of Europe. Good morning, everyone. And finally, I've just arrived in country number 88 on my journey. Today, I'm here in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. The last time I tried to come here, I was turned away at the border between Turkey and Bulgaria because of some special procedures, celebrating my first ever entry refusal. Hey, hello. But today, I finally made it. I arrived from Romania by Flixbus, and the ticket cost around $20. Now I'm here in the capital, and I don't really have a fixed plan. I just want to take you with me and explore what you can do in Sofia. Bulgaria is one of the Balkan countries and a member of the European Union, but it's not very well known as a tourist destination. Still, it has beautiful nature, lovely beaches, and very kind people. It's not part of the Schengen area, but I was able to enter with a Schengen visa. It's also a relatively affordable country. The local currency is the Bulgarian lev, and as you can see, one lev is worth a little over $50. I wanted to explore the capital, and I'm taking you with me. I started my day right in the heart of the city. This place is called Vitosha Boulevard. It's probably the most popular area for people to walk around. There are lots of cafes and restaurants here. But to start my morning, I'm going to grab breakfast at a place called Sofiska Banitsa. I found a dish there that's similar to burek. Honestly, I forgot what it's called in Bulgarian, but it's basically like Turkish burek filled with Bulgarian cheese, the same type of cheese they use in Turkey. I'd say it's pretty similar to feta. The nice thing is that it's hot and clearly fresh. I can see them baking some right now. Let's give it a try. You can feel how incredibly soft the dough itself is when you take a bite. It's amazing. They sell it by weight here. I'm not sure exactly how much my piece weighed, but it came out to about 2.5 leva, which is a little over $1. The yogurt drink was 1.5 leva, so around $50. Honestly, what a great way to start the day at this bakery. We had a full breakfast for $2. Let's see what we're going to do next. I came to a small traditional market called Jenski Pazar, which means women's market. You can walk around, pick up some fresh fruits, and there are also a few spots where you can sit down and enjoy some food.
How much is this one?
4 leva, говорят.
4.
I stopped to buy some fruit. This came out to about $2, maybe $1.50. I also grabbed a box of red berries, which cost around the same. I've washed them, so let's try them now. If you pass by here, you might just have fruit for lunch because it's so delicious.
Bulgaria is very nice country. This is the heart of the world.
What's your dream?
My dream is to go to see Palestine.
I told him I'm Jordanian Palestinian. He said his dream is to visit Palestine because it was the birthplace of Christ. It's very clear that this area, where the market is very popular beyond measure. I was warned before coming here to be careful as you might get robbed. Watch your pocket. But so far, everything's been fine. Still, anyone who comes here should stay alert. I also found out that this area, sometimes called Arab Street, has a lot of Arab restaurants, shops, and grocery stores. So if you're craving authentic Arab food while you're in Bulgaria, this is definitely the place to come. And since I don't know much about Bulgaria, its history, or everything there is to know, I'm going to join a free walking tour this afternoon. It's called Sofia Tour, and they run it 3 times a day in Sofia during the summer. I'm heading to the 2 p.m. tour right now. It starts in the city center, and for about 2 or 3 hours, you get to learn about the city's history and its main highlights.
How was Jordan?
It is absolutely amazing and beautiful, and we love it.
Just one thing. We took a truck in the Wadi Rum Desert, and the driver is driving to the Wadi Rum Desert, and she is shouting 5 minutes non-stop. It's so cool!
Yeah, wow. I just loved it. Everybody must go there.
I arrived at the tour, and we started walking. If you've ever done a free walking tour, you know how it works. You explore the city while the guide shares its history. At the end, you tip whatever you think it was worth. Technically, you don't have to leave anything. But it's considered good manners to give something. Right in the city center, you'll see this large statue of Sofia. It's actually a modern monument. It was installed in the year 2000, replacing a former Lenin statue after the communist period. Interestingly, Sofia itself is named after the 6th century church of Saint Sophia, not directly after the statue. It was a bit controversial when it was built, but today it's become one of the main landmarks in the city. Here in Sofia, there's only one mosque in the city center called Banja Bashi. This is the one right behind me. It was built by the Ottomans since Bulgaria was once part of the Ottoman Empire. Today, the number of Muslims living specifically in Sofia isn't very large, but across Bulgaria as a whole, there's still a significant Muslim population, around 10% of the country. Take a look at this beautiful building right behind me. In the past, during the Ottoman period, I believe, it was used as a public bathhouse. Today, it's the History Museum. At the entrance, there's a fountain where you can drink mineral water. But what really surprised me is that the water is actually hot. Of course, it's naturally hot mineral water coming from underground, but there are no baths here anymore, they just kept the tap water. Sofia was a very important city during the Roman period. In fact, there's almost another Roman city beneath the modern one. Every time they dig, they discover something new. The city is full of Roman ruins. What's a bit sad, at least for locals, is that Sofia was almost chosen to be the capital of the Roman Empire. But because it didn't have a port, they changed their minds and made Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, the capital instead. And this church right behind me is the one the city of Sofia was named after. It's called the Church of Saint Sophia. It's very old, dating back to the 6th century. When people used to come to the city, they would see the church from a distance and they'd say, "We arrived to Sofia." Over time, instead of just the church carrying the name, the whole area, and eventually the city, was named Sofia. And today, this church is still standing here, dating all the way back to the Roman period. The building behind me is St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. I think it's the largest church not only in Bulgaria, but maybe even in Eastern Europe. Earlier, I went inside and took a few photos, but then they told me photography isn't allowed unless you pay about $15. I told them it wasn't worth it, but this is honestly one of the most beautiful churches I've ever stepped into in all of Europe. I really didn't expect it to be that stunning, so massive, covered in mosaics and paintings, with the soft light and candles inside. It's absolutely worth visiting. This church was built in memory of those who lost their lives while fighting to liberate Bulgaria from Ottoman rule in 1877. And with that, we finished the free tour with Martin.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank
That
you so
was
much.
such an amazing
Nice to meet
tour.
you. Shukran, guys.
Shukran, shukran.
A local friend here recommended his favorite restaurant, somewhere that serves really good, authentic Bulgarian food and isn't too touristy. He sent me to this place called Pod Lipite. I might not be pronouncing it perfectly, but I'll write the name on the screen for you. And honestly, from the moment I walked in, it felt like the restaurant was set inside a beautiful garden. And it doesn't feel touristy at all. There isn't a single tourist here. Everyone around me is Bulgarian, even though they do have an English menu. We've just started eating. I ordered a few popular Bulgarian dishes. Honestly, we didn't know exactly what to choose, so we asked him to bring us the most traditional options. He recommended a few things, making sure they were halal. We ordered a dish with eggplant and cheese, some vegetable-based dishes, and another one with chicken. The vegetables kind of look like fajitas, so let's try it. I don't know if Bulgarian food is always this good, or if it's just this restaurant, but it's delicious. And this other dish is eggplant with cheese and tomato sauce. I feel like there's some kind of trick here. I never expected Bulgarian food to be this delicious. And all the dishes we ordered, appetizers and main courses, came out to just $25. It's not street food cheap, but for a restaurant of this quality and this kind of atmosphere, it's definitely worth it and very reasonable. All right, let me enjoy my food, and I'll get back to you. And by the end of the day, I made it to the bus station. My bus to Istanbul is leaving soon. The ticket costs $20, and in about 6 or 7 hours, I'll be in Istanbul. See you in the next episode. May your travels be many. Goodbye.